Okay, I need to do a video on just the basic about what's going on. I have so many new subs, and y'all don't know to go back and watch the other videos. And I know it's hard to understand, so I'm going to do it this way. These are the 4 symbols, and yes, they're all masculine, but these are the original. It came out of a patriarchal time. Almost everything we have now, you have to understand its root, its source. Okay? So everything, in the beginning was the word, the logo, the symbol. Today, we could even use the word image. Matter of fact, they use that in the Old Testament. Thou shalt have no graven images of anything of heaven and earth. And that's these two. You have fire, which is what we're dealing with now. Water, these two. We're in the battle of fire and ice. The end of it. The end all to be all of them. And we're moving to heaven or air. I do this from the New Testament based on religion and what it's become, not what its source, and then earth. So I want us to really take a look at these symbols and understand. Right now we deal with the all-seeing eye pyramid, and it separates the capstone from the rest of the stone. You have the foundation, the center, and then the top. Us, the little ones, the peons, we're the foundation. We are on the bottom. In the feminine age, the foundation is just one, and then the many are on the top. Understand, like in mathematics, we do less than and greater than. But when you talk about heaven and earth, that bottom line is moved up. So there is no, the foundation are the 2 pillars. But there is no poverty class. There's no poverty class here. It's up here. Everybody's above the line. Do you understand what I'm showing you here? On how these symbols work and what they do? Everything is run by images. In Genesis 1, in the beginning God made heaven and earth, and it became void. That word void is tuhu vuhu. Throw away the vowels, the H is not there, and you have TV, and it produces images. Everything changed after television. Everything. Again, in the beginning was the Word. All things were made by the Word. Was not anything made that was made without the Word, or the symbol, or the image. This place is run by these symbols. All images are made up on these symbols. And we're moving from a time of water and ice to a time of air and earth, bringing the bottom up. What is occurring right now on this pyramid? Well, let's do it the way they do it, because they have the break. The image we use on the dollar, there's a gap. That's the spell. It's the image. The eye, the ones that can see, are in the top, and they're completely disconnected from everything below them. And everything's built on the foundation stone. Warnings from the Bible about building your house on the sand or building your house on the rock. The chief cornerstone. The foundation stone becomes the capstone, or the chief cornerstone. Do you understand what I just said? The systems that we're living in right now are real top heavy. They're disconnected and they're top heavy. And they know images control everything. And the reason that is because the universe speaks in symbolism. The conscious mind can deal with symbolism, but the connection point is the imagination and the subconscious mind. So they're running everything on subconscious because they know that our BIOS, our subconscious is like our BIOS, runs on this imagery. And they've got everybody going after this imagery. It's the power symbol of the world today. With theirs is not the all-seeing eye or eye of providence. That's the evil eye. It's an eye of desire, greed, and empire, and much associated with Jupiter in water. This age is this symbol, but they're doing this one. This symbol is incorrect, but it is a perfect symbol of the God of the Old Testament as well, because you start everything with fire. Thou shalt have no other God before me. So fire comes first. And indeed, this word fire, again, can also mean light. Let there be light. It was first. Actually, it wasn't first. It just thought it was first, because first was God created heaven and earth. But he had to say, let there be light, or fire. These were already in existence. Before the foundation of the world, Earth, Capricorn, I am, Ea, Aquarius, air. These books are encoded, but once you pick it up, it's child's play. It really is. And you can see it in everything, whether it's the script. You start seeing through the script. You realize what they're doing and how they're doing it. And they do it with symbolism. The word in, here's another one. In Revelations, that same word is called mark. Image, symbol, word, logo. That's all the same thing. So you have to have the logo. You get the image, the symbol. All marketing uses logos. And it's a mark. It's an image. It's a symbol. And they use symbols from all four elements in all three states. Solid, liquid, gas, fixed, mutable, cardinal. And we are subconsciously attuned with these symbols. They're just built in. It's like a computer program language that your body runs on. Your body. We need to get out of our mind. We are so programmed because of first the church, radio was huge, TV, and now the internet. This is like the 3-lock box. You got to learn to be a locksmith and learn to pick the locks. So we have the symbols. And we're moving. We're supposed to be in this symbol, but it's upside down, right? We're in Peter's upside down world. And the top is disconnected. But we're moving to this symbol. There is no poverty class down here. It's everybody's at the top. The foundation is up. And you know, Pythagorean theorem. This is a image actually of the upper house of Aries. It's called triangulum. Is it Air Force people when they have a particular stance and they stand in that you have straight down and then the cross, and it gives you the triangulum. It's a solid stance. And the pyramid is as solid as the cube, as far as it's more solid than the cube actually, as far as stability, a stable structure to build something off of. It's stable. A ball is going to roll around, but a triangle, especially, you have different triangles that are equilateral, then it's always the same, no matter which way you turn it. There's always one up and two down, or two down and one up. It's stability, and the air sign is super stable. It's a super stable building structure, and they know this anyway. That's why they do this with theirs, because the hexagon, it's the honeycomb. Everything's built on it. It's a DNA. All DNA is, it spirals, but its structure is honeycomb because it adds two together. You add the XX with the XY, and you're going to get a copy of one of them with traits of both. They're intertwined. This is really a symbol of the flesh, the body, the holidays, Christmas. Christmas is, we sing these songs about peace on earth. Peace on earth. The symbol for peace, is not the proper symbol. They give us the wrong symbol. That's not peace. That's the opposite of it. When we do the peace symbol on our hands with the two fingers separated, that's the separation of Saturn and Jupiter. It's the separation of spirit and flesh. And that's supposed to be peace. And when they come together, a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, it's considered a war or a battle. And it's a changing of the guards. It's shifting of powers. The powers shift from one Saturn-Jupiter conjunction to another at roughly 20 years. It's like 19 point something years, but roughly 20 years. And they do it in a different constellation each time. So that war is brought on. It's a different kind of war. Sometimes it could be about money, or it can be about military, or about government, or about anything on the whole wheel, depending on which constellation it lands in. This time around, it's about belief systems. It's about ideology. That's funny because Christmas being a time of peace, and next year we're going to see these two come together during the season and at a war. And then right now it starts in Jupiter's house of ideology this year. It ends next year in Saturn's house of government. So it's really important. The symbols of our government are extremely important. The symbol of the United States seems to be the eagle. I've told you that Scorpio is an eagle. And Capricorn, also the upper house of Capricorn, which is Aquila, is the flying eagle. It has its wings spread. The eagle in Scorpio is the feathered serpent. My writing is terrible with this mouse. Wish I had a tablet. One day. I'm getting there. Alright, back to the symbols. Because this is what I really want you to drill in. Because this is everything. When you looking at a piece of art, art's channeled through the muses. We think we have ideas. Not really, we don't. There's no new thing under the sun. We are simply channeling the muses. And different people perceive things different ways. So we're all channeling one muse. Actually there are 9, but the muses, the force. But we interpret it based on our programming in different ways. We express it based on our programming, our culture, our traditions, the way we see it. It's like alchemy. I can explain this to you using the Bible. And if that's your programming, then you're really going to understand what I'm doing. If you've been in a church and you've sat in those pews and had that shit shoved down your throat that made you feel shame and guilt, then you understand the power of the symbol. You see how that symbol affected you? The symbol of the cross, the symbol of the dove. So we can take that same energy, instead of it ruling you, you can rule it. You take authority over it. We're in an upside down world. And so we need to flip it. And you can only do that for yourself, and you can only do it in your own life. There are none down here. The foundation is here. There is only a capstone. There is no bottom. In the next stage, we're all the capstone. The bottom is eliminated. Does that mean what they're doing here is eliminated? No, because they're in an upside down world. And these, right now, they're top heavy. They're top heavy. There's too many. This triangle is built on thirds, right? They eliminated the middle. So it's all the poverty people and then that percentile. Well, the percentile got top heavy. They had to take in too many from the bottom to what I call cover their ass. Used to be in a mystery school, it was very selective. To be in a guild, you had to have skills, you had to have talents, but they got hijacked. All of the mystery schools got hijacked a long time ago by the powers of this age. And they've been perverted, just like everything else. But alchemy is a set science. It's a structure system. And what it is alchemy is a language that we created as an expression or representation of understanding nature and how it works. So when you put it all together, you realize, oh, nature is a process. It's not constant. They like to use the word evolve, but no, it mutates. It transmutates itself. It is forever becoming. Nature the Earth, the solar system, all of the stars work this way. All of them. They are, facts change. It's a fact you're watching this video right now. That fact won't be true when you turn it off. It will cease to be true. Laws change, but principles do not. What goes up must come down? Not necessarily. There are anomalies to that. But alchemy is a set law of principles, that this is the way nature works. I'm sure it was done by observation over eons and ages and turns and going around and around and around this wheel, keeping that information and passing what you know on to the next generation. Well, the best way to remember something is to set it to song or make it rhyme. So in comes music. In comes the muses. The universe is forever speaking, and it speaks through the muses, and they paint it in art. And you can know the sign of the times by the collective subconscious and what's appearing in art. Unfortunately, the publishing world, whether it's art, music, entertainment, is all controlled by upside down Peter world. So we don't have anything pure. The only thing pure you can get is what you get from yourself when you do the homework and you connect with your higher self. Especially of those of you who are artists, who paint and draw. And I don't care if you do it with brushes, pencils, or graphic arts. You're channeling these ideas. Just like what I'm doing. This information comes through me. I have these aha moments in myself where it just all comes together. I've been getting a lot of questions. I don't understand. I don't understand. Can you just tell us the basics? Well, this is the basic. Earth, water, air, and fire. And liquid, mutable, liquid, solid, and gas. Fixed, mutable, and cardinal. And this is just nature. It's perfectly natural. What's unnatural is what's going on. The symbol for natural. Let's talk about nature and natural. Phi. It is 1.618. And it does this. This is nature. It just keeps expanding. It's ever changing. It's eternal. It never stops. Now what they're doing is reversing it. When you flipped it, they're reversed. We're spiraling the wrong way. It's like this whole age is like a freaking retrograde age because it's upside down. And that's what happens when you flip it. It's upside down. Now what they're giving us is pi. Or 1.3159. Am I right? 1.3459159 pi. And that is a 0.3 less than. 0.3 less than. Do you understand? They don't have... okay, I'll use this one. When in the Old Testament, God is talking to Lucifer, and he tells him that in the beginning, he made them the whole pattern. He made him 1.618. Au natural, the way everything works. But he got perverted, and he fell to 1.3. What is pi? My mind's snapping. I've got so many numbers running in my head right now. But you see that. That's the same thing. Now, this is a natural occurrence. It actually is. There is no new thing under the sun yet. We got something new coming. Something that was prepared before the foundation of the world. Because alchemy is a process. And within that process are principles. And the foundation of those principles are what we call the law of equivalent exchange. Or I'm going to shorten it for karma. What comes around goes around. You reap what you sow. To get something in a process, you must give something. And then you have an outcome. Karma or dharma. The outcome for alchemy, you usually have, there are two things that happens at the end of an alchemical process. Like metal. Say you're smelting metal and you're trying to make gold. You're going to get the finished product of the gold or the purified substance, and then you're going to get everything else that was taken away, and that's called slag. The slag. That's what they would call it. And it's just a mixture of all the other leftovers after you extract the gold. So the process is extraction. And in extraction, you have the word extra. This is the extra. You get the essence, the gold, and then the extra. So that's what's happening to us here. It's the refinement of our soul. And I'm going to write it this way because that's what it is. It's a star. We are stars being born. In the apotheosis of George Washington that was in the Rotunda building of the Capitol, which has been refurbished but yet unveiled, the apotheosis is to be caught up into heaven or become a star. And then you get your own worlds that you get to create. The gods are the stars themselves. And the creation, the sun, God, interacts with his creation, the other planets. Okay? Earth is not the only creation. There's Venus and Mars and Jupiter. It's all there. And God is no respecter of persons. He shines on all of them the same. Are y'all getting this? Are you starting to understand it yet? To understand alchemy is to understand nature. And even the images of the sigils themselves, all languages were created off of it. There's nothing more powerful than an image. Period. TV is so powerful. Those images are so powerful. Nike takes one little swoosh and look at all the money they've made. And the power. And the mind control. I need Reeboks. I need Nikes. And you just gotta have them. You'll die without them. Because your friend has it. It's a manipulation tactic. Marketing is manipulation. And they're liars, all of them. And their power is in their mark. So to me, when I read the book of Revelations, and you get the mark of the beast, change the word beast for system. Change the word mark to logo. The article, no man shall buy or sell. Nope, no man shall buy to sell in retail. Here, let's do it this way. To pin the tail on the donkey, you retail or you retell or you retell. All the same thing. Retail is to retail is to retail is to resell. You package it up and sell it again, because there's no new thing under the sun. That's all I'm doing with what I'm doing, is I'm looking at what I uncovered, and I'm repackaging it and giving it to you in a way that maybe you can understand it. Retail. But to do that in this beast system, you have to have a logo. That's the mark. That's the mark. That's what you want to avoid, is falling under that UCC. You don't want to do that. You don't want an image so that you have permission in the system to buy and sell. Wall Street, part of the beast system. All run by what? What's all this run by? Its foundation is that one symbol that started the whole mess, with the little eye in it. I spy with my little eye. And the whole thing is called all of the images together, and they call it a seal. A seal. That's another word. Image, mark, seal, logo, word, all the same thing. So it's now a seal. And the universe, our subconscious, recognizes these seals. They understand the meaning of it. And that's what we get. They give us exactly what we're asking for. So, as the God of the Old Testament told you, thou shalt have no images of anything of heaven and earth. I'm going to tell you that thou shalt have no images of anything of water and fire. And then you move from being ruled by the flesh to be ruled by the Spirit. In the next stage, let's get our symbol. The foundation becomes the capstone. And everybody's capstone, because everybody is going to be ruled by their higher self. Everyone is going to have their third eye opened at some point in their life. Whether we're born that way, to me, I think it's going to be in vitro. I think children are going to start being born with their third eye open. To me, that's the way it used to be. And we all spoke one language. But then something happened. And our pineal glands were cut off. They were calcified. We moved through the battles of fire, all through Leo, and then in Cancer, we have been under the control of the moon and water. And they have forever been at war since Sagittarius. For 10 ages, we've been through this shit on who can do a better job and who should be in control. And that's mine. To where we're all going to move away from that in the next stage. Because you're going to be born awake. Nobody's left out. And the sun in the sky, the universe, and nature, all in working in conjunction, are going to do that without any of our help. We don't need to do anything but let go. Either hang on or let go. That's your choices. Either hang on, enjoy the ride, or just let go and open your third eye. I don't know of an easier way to explain this, of what this is. Now, what astrology is a whole study of nature and where you fit in. Your natal chart is your cross in the New Testament. It's your life story. If you're Mercury, if you're born with Mercury in Aries, you probably got a bit of a dragon mouth to where you're just going to burn people up with your words. It's your personality. It's where you fit in on the wheel. And to really understand astrology, which I didn't understand at all and never would have. To me, astrology was hocus freaking pocus until I learned alchemy and realized, oh, this is a magic circle. It's a seal. Your natal chart is a freaking seal. It is you. It's your seal. It's your logo. I don't know of any other way to explain that better. I don't. But once you actually learn it and you go back and look, you realize that yes, this is really simple. As Jesus said, even a child can understand it. The reason we don't understand it is because we've been our original BIOS is corrupted because we've been lied to about the symbolism and what it means and how it affects us on a subconscious level, which they're quite aware of. They know frequencies affect us, vibration, colors, and imagery, and they know how it affects us and what we're attracted to. So they're going to present that to us to make money off of it. And things change through time and tradition, and they know this. And they are very ahead of the game. So your really only true battle is just yourself. We shouldn't be wasting all our time wondering about what they're doing. If the universe needs your help, you will find yourself in the right place at the right time. Otherwise, God's got this. Now, what we're dealing with right now, this power structure right now, they venerate the great architect, the one that designed their plan that was going to keep them in control eon after eon. They don't want to give up power, but their time is up because the architect has no power over the alchemist. And karma and dharma will have their day and their say in your life and in mine. So my advice is always bank good karma. Always. Always be the better person, because this is not about your flesh or your body. It's going to get old, decrepit, hurt, and die. But your soul, your star, your sun, you, your memories, and all that you've ever done is literally eternal. There is a point that you can get out of what I call wipeout. When I opened my third eye, I didn't want to be here anymore. And it was really clear to me that I had options. And I basically told him, you can put me in the nothingness. You can put me in the dark place. And it's just you and your memories and nothing else. That's where you just shut down and go inside. Like being in a coma. To where I'd rather spend eternity in the dark with just me than have to deal with this life and these just awful people. These abusive, selfish, self-centered. It was just awful. I didn't have anybody around me that I even, except for maybe my dad, and he was powerless to do or say anything. He was another just victim and slave of the narcissistic mentality that I grew up in. So I didn't want any part of it. And then my higher self said to me, well, if you don't want your life, I'll take it. I'm like, fine, take it. And you can put me anywhere but here. So I understand. I understood there was no such thing as not existing. So the roughest was just being in that place, the dark place by yourself. It's like just going to sleep. the deep sleep, I called it. You can go into a deep sleep, but eventually that sleep is going to be resurrected. It's not eternal, but you are. And I'm telling you, there's no such thing as death. And the day comes, it's written in the Bible, that they shall seek death and shall not find it. Because once you put off the body, then your true self, your sun, your star, your soul, is standing before your higher self, and you have to give account. And you can be, it's like me. I didn't want to be in this body. I was seeking death, and I couldn't find it, because it don't exist. Not for consciousness. To me, animals, birds, even the smallest of organic material is full of consciousness. And that consciousness can never stop existing. But what it can do is transmutate. That's right. Nature brings us to our highest point, the essence, the quintessence of us. And then our souls, we become living stars, or living gods, living consciousness with our own worlds that we create and design. And I have literally understood this from since I was a small child, and have yet to be able to fully explain it. And the best language I can find to explain it is alchemy, made up of 4 simple symbols. But there's a lot of power in those symbols. There is no power without the symbol, the logo, the image, the word, the mark. All right. Did that help? Watch it a couple of times. Maybe it'll sink in. In sync. I hate my ends like that. I'm going to have to stop doing that. Sink in. All right, people. Start your new year off right. If you're going to do a New Year's resolution, then start by 1, following the Lamb wherever he goes. 2, do your homework. You won't regret it. Once you really start forcing yourself to memorize these symbols, do like you did in elementary school. Remember when we had to write the multiplication tables 25 times each? Do that with these symbols. And you are putting your subconscious in sync with your conscious mind.